Today I want to talk about hurting others. I got an email this afternoon from someone who was stating I made an oversight when I was putting something out there, and it ended up hurting them a lot. And I could see the hurt was valid, but at the same time, it's like I can't take responsibility for creating hurt. I can take responsibility for creating the circumstances, but the fact that someone chooses to be hurt by something that I do, I mean, that's their choice. Some people have chosen to be hurt by, just by me speaking my truth. And so the solution most people come to that is to not speak their truth, and is to be quiet and fit in, and not necessarily be quiet, but to fit in and to not rock the boat too much, and to only rock the boat in certain areas while keeping up a facade of normalcy in other areas. And one of the things I want to do through this experiment is be somebody who doesn't need the facade. I can still have the different gears of providing different things. I don't have to be extremist all the time, and I'm not just going around like shocking people with the things I say or anything along those lines. I'm just being myself, and when something scares me, finding a way to make it not scare me. And that's really my goal with things. But sometimes I've had it where people who I've cared about a lot have gotten hurt by something I did or said, and in the past I would take that hurt on me and stop doing the thing that hurt them. And what happened was I was like cutting off that part of myself because I didn't want to hurt this person that I cared a lot about and that I loved. And so it's really, for me, I know I can't be in a place where I'm constantly worried about hurting someone. And so I'm trying to make it more clear to the people in my life that, it's not that I don't care, it's just that I can't make it so that everything I do has no chance of hurting anyone. I can't take the edges out of life, because then life is just dull and boring. There needs to be that sharpness there. There needs to be attack that we can stick things to, and that attack will sometimes hurt when we stick it to the wrong thing, I guess. And so it's just for the people out there that I care about, or for the people out there who care about others and don't want to hurt others, I would really invite you to look at how reasonable it is to expect yourself not to be able to hurt someone. And yes, you can do your bit to not create circumstances that are going to hurt them, but there's also a place to recognize where it's not your fault, and it's not your that if you were constantly doing something so that nobody could ever get hurt by anything you said or did, life would be dull and boring, and you'd have nothing to offer, because you'd just be this rounded off cookie cutter shape, and it's worth it to risk hurting people. I'm not saying to have the intention of hurting people, but it's okay to risk it, and the value of what comes to it. I'm going to share some writing below this on how I responded to it, and the value of risking hurt is so much more valuable than cutting yourself off. And so I would highly encourage you, if you feel like you're doing something for another person right now in your life because you don't want to hurt them, to really look for a new perspective on how you can see that, and see if that dynamic can change, and see that if that person's much more accepting than you thought, because people have the ability to handle their emotions when they're given the space. But sometimes we notice that people don't handle things well, and so we shelter them from that. But anyone is perfectly capable of handling just about anything emotionally if we give them the space and we allow them to work through it themselves. And so that's my little message for today. Thanks.